Hello, and welcome to Questions from Justice City. I'm your host, not actually the South Point Saint this time. It's me, your good friend, Colin Moore, the guy who plays the South Point Saint.
I'm Devin. I have a variety of characters, including Sparky, the Sleeve, and a couple other characters you guys haven't heard from yet.
Yeah, I'm Brendan Moore, and I have been the Undoer and the Mutant Millennial.
And you've been...
And somebody else. It's a... What are we talking?
The Undoer.
Episode 1 was Endure. Episode 2...
It's been a long few weeks.
Yeah.
Hey, guys, how's it going?
Yeah, I bet the world's in really good shape right now, so... So this is probably a welcome distraction.
It's been pretty great, because we literally started the podcast and the world went to shit.
Yeah. So, you know...
So maybe it's an omen.
We need heroes now more than ever.
Oh.
Yeah, this is so like I said, this isn't live from Justice City. This is Q&A or questions from Justice City, whatever you like.
Because we hit 100 listens, and thank you all so much for your support.
Thank you guys.
For sure.
Yeah.
Keep listening.
I'm going to burp off my cups, I guess.
Listen again. Listen a few more times.
Sorry.
Share it with your friends, more importantly than anything.
Yeah. And most importantly, just have fun listening to it. We really enjoy making it. So basically we're just doing a Q&A to kind of let you guys know, get a look behind the veil, kind of part our Wizard of Oz-esque back room.
Yeah.
And I'm the giant head.
Pay no attention to the sad three
men
guys behind the curtain.
3 sad men operating the curtain.
My throat, you can hear it. We just had McDonald's. So.
Yeah. So we are definitely in the mood to record something. So yeah, let's go ahead and get this kicked off. So our first question, where did the idea come from? Well, I'll start because I guess I technically had the idea for it. Basically, I've just had a lifelong love of superheroes. And improv comedy, and very recently a new love of podcasts. So it just kind of, all that kind of stuff just bumped around in my head until we got to here. But it wasn't just the concept at first was my idea, but we wouldn't have gotten to the point that we are at without Brendan or Devin helping me flesh out.
And I think that one of the things that really helped was that we kind of already knew that we really enjoyed working well with each other, because we had done Dungeons and Dragons for quite a while, and we had experienced all of our creativity with me DMing, with Colin DMing, with Brennan DMing, and more importantly, we just really loved making each other laugh. And so I do remember a specific point where we were like, let's do something creative together. Was it before or after the 66-hour shootout?
After.
We made when we made a movie together, and it was a lot of fun, and we, wanted to keep that going. So
yeah,
that's sort of the birthplace in the mind percolation,
Yeah.
And
then I guess I just had the best concept for a podcast.
Yeah, I don't remember if it was originally going to be a podcast or if it was going to be something else.
No, I think at least for me, I've always thought of this idea as being a podcast.
Yeah. I think also it's also the only idea for a podcast that we had presented.
So I won by default.
Yeah.
Democracy.
I think it worked out.
Yeah.
I think we're doing good.
Yeah, we at least enjoy making it, so that, that's got to count for something.
Apparently you guys enjoy listening to it, so again, thank you for that. We didn't expect you guys to come out in such full force as you guys did, and I don't think we would be doing this more than one episode if we didn't see such a positive response from it.
Yeah, well, and we had a bunch that we had already recorded, which we're gonna get to.
Because our next question is why now? It like Brennan said, we've had the first couple of episodes. The first one we recorded 2 years ago, when we first originally had the idea for it. But life, just had a way of getting in the way of our real passion of making podcasts. So, and then I don't know, just out of nowhere, we just decided that now was the time to
release it.
Release it,
And it wasn't even the first episode that we recorded. Isn't even the first episode that we released. There's a lot,
yeah,
lot of unreleased stuff,
six or seven test episodes that
pretty rough.
yeah,
and I don't know
We
what
built
really.
a lot of the world in them, and I think we've done a pretty good job of keeping the world somewhat consistent. Like obviously, it's a completely made up on the spot world, but we do have some consistencies that we keep on bringing back.
Right.
Whether we think they should die or not.
And
It's just
some
the
of those
one thing
have
we can
turned
only
into
think
inside
about.
jokes that are just for us,
Yeah.
which like
yeah,
constantly referencing the angel or a demon thing
yeah.
is
It was-
from a test episode, and
yeah. And the test episodes were kind of crazy because we were doing this concept where instead of having one host, we had a rotating host where it would be. And
It's
so,
so
it allowed
complicated.
me to. It was so that I could play characters
Yeah.
too. But then we eventually settled on South Plains
Yeah.
Saint being the
We experimented
host.
with Kiwi being the host. Is somebody you're gonna meet?
the sleeve was at one point the
couple
host.
weeks. Yeah,
which thank God we didn't do that.
I could not keep the accent up.
Kiwi.
But yeah, it's definitely. What was the moment that we were like, hey, we could actually do this? I can't. It must have been something recent. Like
I think I remember last year at some point we were just like, hey, let's really dig into this. And I think it was just that we all had the same feeling of this is something, and we just haven't figured out what quite it was.
yeah.
And I remember that we discussed a plot point at that point, and we did a whole episode that we haven't even released, and it was a themed episode too, specifically around that plot point.
That will
and
also not get released because
Yeah.
it will not. But we may have incorporated that plot point in these episodes, so definitely keep your ear out for that.
keep your ears.
And then
open.
I think we all just said 2020 is the year. Like we're just gonna fucking put something out and
Yeah, and then
let it happen.
And then the world was like,
And then the
"Fuck
world-
you."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess
Yeah.
it's more like why not now was really
Yeah.
what we came up
Also,
with.
yeah, I also think I listened back and I had realized I had already done like most of the work on the episode. I could also finally afford audition.
Yeah, that was a big.
When
that was
we
a
got
big
we
thing.
had jobs and we were more financially stable because we started this in like a summer and we were all super broke. So
Yeah.
it was
Yeah,
And a lot's changed. Like all of us have moved to different places than we were, and just have almost different jobs than what we were originally doing then
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
But it's also super fun to listen to like what we said so long ago, like how, like it still makes me laugh.
yeah,
Some of the things like
It's
I
almost
don't
like
even
listening
remember.
for the first time.
Yeah.
and it's kind of wacky because then because we have these ideas for where we wanted to go with the show, but then we would listen back to some stupid amount of years ago, and it would be, and we would say something, and then we were like, ah, shit, we can't do this idea because we've already said that.
This is the first episode.
Yeah,
I can't tell you how many times I've heard this is the first episode while listening back through the.
yeah,
And it's not.
but I think we did eventually nail what our first
Yeah.
episode was with Shocky and
Sparky.
Underwear, which
No,
you
it
know,
was Shocky.
No, it's Sparky. It's on the thing.
It's Sparky.
You know what? I don't remember.
You know what? Honestly,
I haven't listened to it.
you know what it is? It is Sparky. I always called him. I always called him Shocky because of in Flushed Away. There was a character
Right.
whose name was Shocky, and he would say Shocky, and so I think about it every time I see that episode.
Yeah.
So our next question is, can you give us a taste of future plans? Well, we are planning to finish out, or we're planning on doing a first season. We haven't completely nailed down how many episodes we want to do, but we want to do at least 12.
Yeah.
Yeah, and 12.
Yeah, 12. Yeah, yeah, you know, depending on how we feel after 12.
Yeah. If we want to record a bunch more.
But 12 is kind of the tentative plan for now.
Yeah, and this is really gonna rely a little bit on you guys too, because if you guys want a season 2, we're definitely up for doing a season 2. We're gonna I think no matter what, we are going to be creating podcasts, different forms of media together, no matter what, even if Live from Justice City never gets a single extra listen after this, which please don't. Please make sure. But
okay.
we are definitely, we have some things coming down the pipeline that are not Live from Justice City related.
Yeah.
That are part of Sad Bods Media, which is our
Empire.
media.
We're gonna call it an empire.
A part of the Sad Bods empire
A very, very, very small empire.
of 3.
Yeah.
Of 3 and 1 thing that we've put out.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're, obviously, you can't have 3 white guys in a room together without having a D&D podcast come into the brain space, and we are thinking of possibly putting one out pretty soon here.
And then just like Live from Justice City related too, we do have, as of the time of this recording, we have had 1 guest, and we have plans for at least 3 more.
Yeah, so if you're tired of just listening to the 3 of us,
Which I get.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe not. Maybe that's why.
Maybe not too tired.
If you have kept listening this far into the into the Q&A,
yeah,
you're not that tired. So thank you.
yeah,
So
honestly.
be excited, because you're gonna get some variety. You're not gonna get the same amount of humor.
Well, speaking of that, I think we should move now to, questions more about the characters on the show. So we'll just do questions about the heroes, because we have a lot of them, and there's a lot of stuff in the podcast that we don't really talk about, or just,
Or we meant like again on the test episode. Sometimes we'll mention stuff, or we'll reference stuff that we know in the world that we maybe even we didn't realize we didn't flesh out on the podcast because we thought we had already done it.
Yeah, so bear with us. So the next couple of episodes are going to be much more consistent because we have recorded them within the last
Year.
decade.
Yeah, with like a purpose in mind.
Yeah.
Instead of just, hey, let's record some of these things.
But So our first question was asked by a friend of mine. Could the Undoer have undone the Big Bang if he had been there? Obviously, I'm gonna ask Brendan that because you are the voice.
Should I do the voice?
Yeah, why not? Answer.
Hey there. I'm doing the Undoer voice here. Also, yeah, I got it. I did get a note that somebody hated my Chicago accent. Nobody talks like this.
Yeah.
That's all right.
I do.
I like it. So could the Undoer undo the Big Bang Theory? Well, I thought a lot about this because
Well, he couldn't undo the theory because
he
can undo the show. He can completely erase Big Bang Theory off the air.
I'll go to Chuck Lorre. So I imagine I'm time traveled. So
and you can survive in the absence of anything.
Well, if we're doing time, the beginning of time starts at the Big Bang. So if we go to, let's say somehow I time traveled to 5 seconds before the Big Bang or after the Big Bang, and I undo it right away.
And you're not somehow immediately caught in the blaze of the universe expanding.
Because like in the first 5 seconds, I mean, it was this. I want to say it's like the size of Jupiter. Don't check my facts.
I think it was many, many, many times bigger than that in 5 seconds.
I mean, I guess I could undo it, but I don't know if I could keep it from happening again. So the unfortunate side effect of I can undo something, but there's no guarantee that it's not just going to happen again.
Just like you were born 47 times that day.
Exactly.
The universe will be born 47 times.
Yeah, it'll just be like expand and contract, expand and contract. Coming out of the
universe has a big head.
I mean, that is assuming, of course, that the Big Bang happened, or would happen no matter what.
Yeah,
but if it only could happen once, then you would completely undo the universe.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, what if there's a theory that there was a universe before us and it collapsed. And then the Big Bang happened. So what if that just started back up again and we got a whole reverse universe?
Yeah, and everything's talking in backwards. Our next question is whatever happened.
Yeah, gotta take some time to come out of character.
Whatever happened to Helen from HR / Helen from corporate? Because I did call her that a lot. She is Helen from HR. I just when she was when we originally pitched the character, I kept saying Helen from Corporate, and you'll find that a lot of the time when I say someone's name wrong, it's because we have referenced them in a past episode, and I can't stop.
Yeah,
and I'm an old dog, and I can't learn new tricks.
Of course, Helen is played by our sister Emily Moore.
Yeah.
You heard her do the credits for the second episode. We don't really know what happened to her. You know, something evil, something bad.
Yeah,
Something naughty.
when the studio got destroyed, it's just straight up.
Yeah. So we
have plans to have
we
Emily
wish-
back on the show.
Yeah, hopefully.
Helen might come back. Who knows?
Who knows?
Well, I mean, maybe we'll have to go look for her.
I mean, that's kind of the fun thing about.
Am I slipping back into a newer?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I mean, that's kind of the fun thing about doing an all improvised podcast is like, if we bring it up, it's gonna happen. It doesn't matter.
Fuck, we want.
And like some of our best bits have been completely improvised. Like one that I'm thinking of around characters that you haven't met was very like off the rails crazy. Like we did not plan on it happening, and it involved characters getting stabbed and some drinking.
A lot of the first episode, with like some of the things that we got a lot of feedback of, like were favorite bits, like the Undoer. I hadn't thought about what the backstory for the Undoer was, and then. We got Sparky's shoes. That whole bit, I think, really resonated with people. We had not talked at all about what.
Yeah. And we've kind of refined. We're not really stepping away from the question, but we've really refined how we have our heroes. So they feel, hopefully, with the newer episodes coming out, they're gonna feel less three white guys bullshitting. Recorded, and it's going to feel more like we thought about this, and the fun comes from the improvisation.
Yeah, which actually brings us to our next question. What about female heroes? I mean, we're talking about guests, so when are we going to get... I talk about it a lot in the show because I do genuinely... I genuinely feel weird about just always having an all-male show, because I don't that's not what I would listen to. I love more diverse just shows, just because it kind of adds more perspectives. I just did I say perspectives?
Yeah,
I said I'm very tired.
It adds more perspective and also
a little and just a dash of perspective.
And you know what? Like it makes us funnier, I think, because if we have because we know where what we find horizons. Funny. Yeah. And so if all you're listening to is just us three trying to make us three laugh, then we're not going to be as funny as if we're making somebody that either one of us doesn't know very well or neither of us know very well. Yeah. And we're having to bounce off them in the moment. And it's true improv versus improv amongst a group of people that know each other very well.
That being said, we have guests like we said, we want to have Emily back on the show. We have plans for more female representation.
We have female friends besides just a sister.
We do.
Yeah.
We also have Devin's wife.
Yeah. And these women aren't defined by their
right.
by their connection to these male. It's just that's how you would know them from our show.
And and we think that they're genuinely funny. Like I don't think we're just including women to
be PC.
Women.
Yeah, it's just I genuinely feel like
genuinely belong on the show.
Yeah. Well, it just would make us funnier. And I mean, honestly, if we can take some of this heavy burden of being funny every show off of us and onto someone else.
I don't think that we can give a specific timeline, but with us going every 2 weeks, it should be in the next couple of months. So listen out for that.
And so our next question is and this one was actually posed by a friend of me or in person. Just South Point Saint versus the Sleeve. Who would win? That's this entire show I haven't thought about because normally with superheroes I'm always thinking about who would win in a fight between these and these. But with this because it's kind of stupid. I've never thought of them as actually being able to fight each other, but. It's kind of a valid point because the South Point Saint, he has real power, and the Sleeve has a lot of magic abilities. So
Yeah, even though we didn't go quite into it.
Yeah.
I think one of the defining points. I'm actually gonna because we had this conversation before the thing started, but I just thought about this. I think the South Point Saint would win, and the reason is because as of right now, the South Point knows what the sleeves' weakness is, and it's
true.
coin magic.
It's coin magic.
But no one, including the South Point Saint right now, knows what his weakness is. Or if he does, he's certainly not saying it on a podcast.
Yeah, because then his enemies would know his secret weakness.
Yeah,
And plus, I haven't thought of one. Honestly.
I brought this up before in our group chat. It all depends on how many sins the sleeve has
Yeah.
done. So if you remember, is it in one of these episodes?
I think
or
it's
is it
episode 3.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Where South Point burns everybody 1 degree
For each
for
sin,
each
yeah.
sin.
Or
So,
his punch can
yeah.
yeah. In addition to that, I've never really brought it up, but he has always had some superhuman strength as well as some speed and endurance. That was actually mentioned on the test episode, but it's hard to go off of that because there was also a time in the test episodes where the man in the white suit that I mentioned in the 3rd episode was actually the Colonel from Kentucky Fried Chicken, and South Point was actually a very unhealthy and fat area of Justice City, and so I was a Kentucky Fried superhero.
I should say, so fucking funny in the moment.
Yeah.
We decided to scrap that.
Yeah, because licensing for one, but also yeah, I just didn't. I didn't want to play a guy whose power was chicken.
Kentucky Fried superhero.
Kentucky Fried Justice.
I think
is what we should have called the show.
I think we wanted to keep South Point a pretty grounded character.
Yeah.
So that way, like, the ridiculousness of the sleeve and the endure.
Well,
and
I mean,
Bumpy.
I think my friend Ramiro, who is on episode 3 as the emballer, said it best. He's like, you burn people for your sins. I make people shit their pants.
Yeah,
It's such a funny, like, it's a
the
sort of unique dynamic where the interviewer is
oftentimes more capable than his interviewees. But I mean, that's kind of the fun of the show. But anyway, the sleeve himself does have a lot of cosmic power, and I did think about this a lot. That he can teleport to different dimensions. So I don't know. I imagine that the sleeve has a lot of powers that we just haven't talked about.
He also does like street magic too, I think. So there's like some misdirection you could throw at South Point. Like,
now that I'm saying it out loud, Devin, is the sleeve's ability just that he can teleport away whenever he needs to? Because he does disappear into a sleeve a lot.
So we haven't really fleshed out like what the sleeve.
You mean you haven't really fleshed out what the sleeve can do
on the podcast?
Fucking A. Yeah, I mean, I would like to imagine that the sleeve could bring objects through dimensions too, so that way he could like go to a dimension where like he can just find this huge object that he could lift and throw and then bring it back through and crush bad guys. But I guess the South Point in this particular instance. But so far, all we've really established is that he can travel through dimensions and do street magic because of that. Yeah. So I guess really he's only as strong as he is cunning.
But honestly, the sleeve and the South Point Saint would never fight because, as I stated in that episode, I think they're best friends.
They are best friends.
Despite the sleeve's views on
which
intergalactic, we have to say intergalactic,
interdimensional.
Sorry,
it was so I felt I think that's a bit that we weren't confident on, just because like at the time it wasn't like a big pointed issue when we made fun of it, and then
it was.
All right, I'm trying, guys. It was something that we were like, hey, is this more funny than it is possibly offensive? And I'm very glad that we were able to walk back on the sleeve saying international to interdimensional. Because otherwise then I don't think we would have felt comfortable releasing that episode. And also,
I mean, that's not the worst thing that was said in that episode. So.
And
or
I mean,
future episodes.
It is also kind of a sign like that we have grown as people in the last 2 years since that episode was released. So it's kind of hard. I mean, I don't want to James Gunn it, but like it is kind of hard to hold us accountable for what we said when we were worse people.
And also, like, we have spoken to people who are.
We spoke to one person who said it was okay, and that's enough for us.
That's it. That's all
This
I
is
need.
literally our. I can say it because I have a black friend.
Yeah, it's because he knows an interdimensional immigrant.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, that was pretty much all the hero questions. Now kind of just
I've got a question that I wanted to throw out on the fly.
Oh.
Okay.
What's your favorite bit from the show so far?
Of the three episodes that have released,
I mean,
I think we should stick to those. So that,
there's a pretty there's a pretty clear bit for me that in episode 3 when Mutant Millennial says he has 6 dicks but they're not very big, it gets me every single goddamn time because you
can hear it on the show because you just stopped talking.
I broke. It's probably the hardest I broke because in the moment it just made me laugh and giggle so much.
Brennan?
Oh man,
what's your favorite bit of mine? Just kidding.
Oh damn!
Just make this about me.
Oh man, let's see.
You can make it about yourself. Just what's your favorite bit?
I don't know. I had a lot of. I can't think of very specific moments because, like, I just enjoy.
Because you haven't listened to the show.
I have listened to the show the most.
That's true.
I edited it.
That's probably why it's hard to have a favorite
yeah,
bit.
it's kind of. Oh shoot! There's something from episode 2. Come back to me. I'll try to think. Of it.
Devin,
Is it the dishwasher one?
The Panphilia.
Well, okay, yeah, Panphilio really. I don't know how it came off in the episode, but when Devin said Juan and Panphilio, all of us,
Juan Jose and Panphilia were the 3 brothers. Panphilio is not a name, and the fact that was the name Devin pulled out of his ass was
yeah,
killed us.
like if you heard if you had heard the recording that we left because I leave it going during the ad breaks, and that. We were just dying.
Yeah. What about you, Devin? Or did you just use your favorite bit right there?
No, that's a really good one.
What's your favorite bit of mine?
Because
you got a bit. Brendan got a bit.
I've got 2. I think
this wasn't. What are your 2 favorite bits?
Well,
what's your single favorite bit?
I'm cheating. One is from
you asked the question and you changed the rules. Fuck you. Go ahead.
All right, fine.
Go ahead and do. Go ahead and do 2. I don't care.
I think my favorite bit is just like when like you guys are talking about your nemesises and like the Mutant Millennial talks about baby boomers. And then the Embowler talks about the BDSM queen, and then they just like throw the question to you, not even really expecting it, and you're like, right. Xanthar from the Plane of Gold, like it's fucking straight out, like there was no hesitation. It sounded planned, but it wasn't at all.
Yeah, it was actually Grainar from the Plane of Eternal Gold. Yeah, I don't know, it just popped into my brain head space, and it worked because we were talking about You're in Trouble.
Like, wait, what the fuck? That sounds legit.
Yeah, and I think that's really the first moment in the show where it's like, oh yeah, the South Point Saint is not
Leagues
maybe
above.
a tier above the people he brings on. But like I said, like, and I mean, honestly, the South Point Saint genuinely feels that every person he brings on the show is worthy of being on the show. But no matter how mean,
his friends.
No matter how mean I am to Devin. Yeah, now let's kind of wind down the show or the episode a little bit.
Yeah, we're at 29 minutes. This is longer than the episodes.
Yeah. So I guess our next question is any plans for merchandise? As of right now, not a whole lot. If you guys, if like we put out this episode and you guys are like, yeah, let's get some dice, merch, or I guess merch is how most people shorten that. We have thought about doing stickers. I mentioned Life from Justice City coasters. In the 4th episode that you haven't listened to yet, but I like that idea because it's stupid. Yeah. Maybe shirts in the future, but again, it all depends on if you guys want it.
You got to remember, those things are expensive.
Yeah. That's the other thing too. Is like right now we we don't feel like the show is at a point where we feel comfortable asking our listeners to help fund us.
Yeah, and honestly,
so all of this is literally either done for absolutely free or we put our own money into it, and
which is fine for now.
Yeah, and so it's something that we're doing for fun. Maybe in the future we can get to the point where we can monetize it, but we want the content that we put out to be worth the money.
Yeah, plus we're super happy with like the cover art that Sarah did. It's really cool. We really like for the Facebook page.
And if you guys really like it enough and you guys want to create your own art for it, that's what the Facebook page is there for. Yeah. It's there for you guys to promote those things, and if you have like questions or you have an idea or you want to just talk to us about something related to the show, that's the best way to get in contact with us.
Yeah, follow us on the Facebook page or our Twitter at SadBods or BodSad Media.
BodSad. It's just BodSad.
At BodSad.
Yeah. We promise we'll do more stuff if we get more up.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because I mean, we've enjoyed doing it so far. So if you guys enjoy listening to it, we will keep putting it out, even if it's just like 20 or 30 people who listen consistently to every episode. We'll do it for you guys. Come on.
Yeah. We love you.
We do love you.
And then our final question is: any plans for a live show? As of right now, probably not.
Yeah, this is not a great time to do live shows.
Mostly because we can't have, and it's only because we can't have gatherings of 10 or more people right now. That's the only reason.
For context, if for some reason you're listening to this way out of order, this is middle or end of March.
Middle of coronavirus
2020.
Season.
This is Corona Central. Not Corona. We do not have coronavirus here,
unfortunately.
So this is either really funny in retrospect or really depressing.
Like this is the point that those fucking audio logs from Fallout will listen to. And those poor fuckers. They had no idea what was coming.
But so as of right now. But like I said, like we keep saying, it all depends on if you guys keep listening, because we would. I hope we would be of a caliber enough to do a live show at some point in our lives.
Live from Justice City really does have a nice ring to it.
That's it. Yeah. Every episode's live. So baby, we're in your ears live. We live there now.
Yeah. We've built our homes, our communities, our schools inside your ears.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys are hosting one, we'll go do it.
Hell yeah.
We'll bring our microphones.
We had a lot of plans that we just wanted to kind of go out and do things, but because of the whole coronavirus situation, it's kind of made things a little weird. But but fortunately, podcasting we can do remotely if it really gets that bad. Or so far we've been able to just gather.
I mean, we're just in like a bedroom right now, so
I guess that's a.
I'm not wearing pants, so
gross.
Hey, you didn't say it was gross when you came in here.
He didn't say it was gross when you saw my sit sticks.
Sorry guys, I only have one dick.
Okay, was that our last question?
I guess that's the button.
How many dicks do we have?
Altogether 3.
But it's like the Greek thing where like we have to share it every once in a while.
But if you
wait, what?
So that about does it for our first Q&A. We may do future ones. I don't know. I don't care. Maybe after season 1, when we have a little more to talk about. And then also just heads up, guys. I don't know if we've been doing a good job of communicating this, but we are up on Spotify, Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, under SadBods Media, iHeartRadio,
and then the site that we've been referring people to is Buzzsprout. It's always the first link that we drop whenever we drop a new episode. On the Facebook, which is where new episodes will be informed. We didn't do a good job of it because we were still trying to figure things out, but the Live from Justice City pages on Facebook and Twitter is probably the best place to receive any news whatsoever, including the teasers that we put out between weeks.
Ooh, which you get it.
Yeah, and if you guys want to share it, you can either share it from our Facebook page or just tell people to look us up on Spotify. Because I feel like that's the easiest way to look us up.
Yeah, definitely. Spotify, I think, is really cool.
Yeah. And so far, we've done almost entirely word of mouth for this. And we're really proud of the numbers that we've received off of 3 episodes. I can promise you that it literally felt like three nobodies just putting something out in the world, and to even have gotten as much as we have back feels right.
Yeah.
Maybe not nobodies.
Did you say right? Or it feels great?
Feels right.
It feels right to be admired. No, we're not that vain. Yeah, so yeah, that about does it for us.
Thank
Yeah,
you,
like I
guys.
said, follow us Facebook, Twitter. Support us or don't. We don't care. We'll keep doing this whether you like it or not.
Yeah, that's true. We
we
as
love
much
it.
as we love how many listeners we've gotten, we three love the show,
Yeah.
so we're just gonna keep doing it till,
So
till we're tired of
Even
it.
if we only get 3 listens.
so yeah, let's go back around and sign off.
All right. I'm Brendan Moore. You can find me on Twitter if you want to, at BeMoreToLove. It's kind of complicated. BMoreTO love. I should have put a number 2. Doesn't matter. Be more to love at Twitter. Thank you.
And I'm
No.
Devin. Oh. Sorry. And I'm Devin Richards. You can find me on Twitter at GAIMERGAI, Gamer Guy. I also stream, but that's not here nor there.
Yeah. And I was Colin. You can follow me on Twitter at COLIN from space. Colin from space. It's a pun. Yeah.
Huh.
So yeah.
Yeah, those are that's how you find us.
Yeah.
So,
Go find us.
Go find us. Yeah. So yeah. I guess have a super night.
Yeah.